This week's episode of Black Guy White Movie is brought to you by Fly Genius.
Tom Fondle.
Welcome to Black Guy White Movie with your host, Maxwell Michael Towson.
Thank you for joining us on Black Guy White Movie. I'm your host, Maxwell Michael Towson, and whether you're listening to us on iTunes or SoundCloud, YouTube, we just really appreciate you guys coming out for another week of nonsense. It looks like we dodged a bullet this week since the writers and producers came to an accord, so we avoided a writer's strike, but to be 100% honest with you guys, this was really fake news because we were never going to have a writer's strike. They had a writer's strike a few years ago. I guess the writers wasn't bullshitting back then, but we found out then that Hollywood lost hundreds of millions of dollars during that time. And then also writers were just at Starbucks and Intelligentsia with nothing to do. They just had to sit there and eat the Starbucks food. And that's just a sad opportunity for everybody when you actually have to eat that food. So they definitely didn't want to do that again. So that was some positivity on that end. But even better news came out as one of our great black directors got an amazing opportunity coming up. And when you think of our great black directors, who comes to mind? Maybe Steve McQueen, Spike Lee, Queen Ava DuVernay, who is just a goddess walking on earth. Also, one who people usually sleep on is my man Tim Story, who is out here racking up hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. He has the Think Like a Man series, the Best Man series, the pre-Captain America Chris Evans Fantastic Four films. And also, I feel like that he's probably going to do a third ride-along. And how did we get the 3 ride-alongs? Honestly, is Kevin Hart popping that much that he could push out 3 ride-alongs? Because if he is, touche, my nigga, hats off to you. But one of our great directors got some amazing news this week.
Antoine Fuqua has locked up a first-look deal with Sony Pictures Motion Picture Group. The deal should start with Fuqua's The Equalizer 2, which is set for release on September 14th, 2018. The movie should begin production in the fall. The first Equalizer received mixed reviews from critics, but made almost $200 million. Other films expected from the director under the terms of the deal include a number of high-profile action movies and a passion project of Fuqua's about former Black Panther leader Fred Hampton.
Sound courtesy of Watch It News. Antoine Fuqua, who definitely has been making hits these last few years with The Equalizer, Magnificent Seven, also Southpaw, so he definitely deserves this opportunity. Actually, now that I think about it, 2 out of the 3 of those films were Denzel movies. So Fuqua has found out what Spike Lee knew years ago is when you want to make a dope film, you go get Denzel. Like, Denzel is going to give you everything you need to make a dope film. It's going to be a hit. Spike Lee has already, he's got that locked down. Anytime he wants to make something with a little bit more range, a little bit more everything to it, he calls up Denzel. I wonder if he just has a direct line to Denzel. Like, does Denzel have a bat phone where he just knows exactly who's calling and what opportunities he's going to take? Because that motherfucker just makes some dope goddamn films. The Fuqua deal starts with The Equalizer 2, another Denzel movie. I think it's his first sequel, which Denzel in a sequel. How is Denzel in his first sequel? That's crazy. Like, Denzel is, are you doing this on purpose, Denzel, that you don't want to take sequels? Yeah, you're a god. I don't know why you don't want to take these sequels. And also, as you heard in a clip previously, they're talking about doing the Fred Hampton movie, which is going to be, I would assume, is going to be amazing because the wealth of information you have about Fred Hampton and the Black Panther Party is just, it'll be hard to fuck that up. And Fuqua, all I got to say is just go get Denzel. Just Denzel. You know what you got to do. Go get Denzel.
Tom Fondle.
One of my top 5 rappers, T.I. Tip Harris. Before y'all start, don't ask me who the rest of my top 5 is because I'm never going to release that information. Just know that T.I. is on it. And I'm sure for most people, I want to say about 75% of the people that have lived below the Mason-Dixon line, T.I. has to be on your top 5. I don't even see how that's not possible. For me, it's for 2 reasons. One is this film called ATL, which is just immaculate to me. It has so many quotables in it, so many rich characters. It's just, I love that movie. And the other thing is this little project that came out, I want to say in 2005, called King. I know today rappers like Lil Yachty is on every commercial, but T.I. had a single that was the intro music to SportsCenter for about a month. That shit is just amazing to me. But one of my top 5 rappers, T.I., has just released a short film based on the album of the same name called Us or Else. Here's a quick clip of it. Check it out.
So we were sitting in the car. I saw the 2 suspects run by, and then I told Briggs to go after the first one, and I went after the second.
You sure that's what happened?
What the fuck you do?
Just came around the corner and
It was fucking racing, man.
Man, you weren't fucking there. It happened so fucking fast.
If you're scared to work the motherfucking neighborhood, you shouldn't be in the fucking neighborhood. Get another job.
We're here yet again for the 5th shooting in this community this year between the police and an African-American male. Officer Mitchell says that his shooting was justified in self-defense. Actually, I'm getting it just in that the police have released that Officer Mitchell's shooting was justified.
Can you believe this is happening again? Our children can't even play in their own neighborhoods.
Sound courtesy of Vivo, Grand Hustle, and also Rock Nation Records. No matter what you think about the content of the short film or the acting, whatever the case, I just think that it's important that we commend T.I. for this project, because a lot of times we complain about black representation in film and television, short films, and these type of projects like this, also Queen Bee's Lemonade Project, help bridge that gap, because if they're done correctly, we get our representation out and we don't have to wait on Hollywood to tell our stories, and we can circumvent the system and create our own media as we tell these long form stories. What I'm not saying is, though, I don't need everybody out here making short films. Let's get that straight now, because we'll end up with Belly 2 again, or that time when Usher did the Caught Up, like he had like 18 videos for the Caught Up, just so, like back when Usher was the shit during the Confessions time and everybody had My Boo as a ringtone. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if Migos wanted to do an album, not an album, but a film for culture, and they had Donald Glover write and direct it, my nigga, sign me up. But I'm imploring you guys, please go check out the Us or Else short film by T.I. It's on YouTube now. It's only about 15 minutes, directed by Mike Ho. It's definitely worth checking out, and we'll be right back.
Tom Fondle.
This week's episode of Tom Fondle Presents Black Guy White Movie is brought to you by Fly Genius. Fly Genius is a brand that believes in an entrepreneurial and charitable approach to professional objectives and ambitions. Their slogan, Intelligent Fashion, celebrates the accord between being stylish, fly, and intelligent, genius, without compromising your authenticity. Their brand uses clothing as a tool to motivate kids and young adults to strive for success, hard work, learn about opportunities, yet remain a trendsetter. Fly Genius has supporters such as Justin Bieber, Nicki Minaj, Madonna, Chris Brown, and Ice-T, just to name a few. If you want to check out some of their merch, please visit www.flygenius.com. That's FLYGEENIUS.com. Again, that's www.flygenius.com. Fly Genius, intelligent fashion.
This is
Are you dumb?
on Black Guy White Movie.
A few days ago, I was going through my Apple News app, which, shout out to Apple for that, because going around to all the different news websites and stuff was getting tiring, and I feel that I'm keeping up with shit a lot better just by this app. Although, I do got to talk to you guys about the algorithm that you use to determine what shows up in my app, because it's no reason. Even though I want to know about politics, Donald Trump shouldn't be the first face I see every day. Every single day. Like, can you just figure something out where maybe entertainment goes first? I don't know what you guys need to do, but every day it can't be a Donald Trump subject. You guys have to take at least a day off. But a few days ago, I'm going through the app and I see a clickbait title that says, "Will Hollywood learn anything from Get Out's success?" It's an article over at Vulture by that name by Mark Harris. Nothing against Mark Harris, but to answer your question, no. Hollywood doesn't learn from one single example. They always consider that an outlier. It's an anomaly. And these questions, anytime a black film does good, you get these same questions. The same thing with Think Like a Man. The same thing when any Kevin Hart movie does pretty well, especially I think Ride Along was probably one of the first ones that did extremely well, and they were just so surprised by it. You always get that same question. It's the same dumb shit that we hear on these sports debate shows when a team loses and it's like the team A lose or the team B win. Why? Why are you still asking this dumb fucking question every time? This question, in this sense, it's getting to a point where it's just stupidity. It's no reason to ask, will Hollywood learn anything? First off, Hollywood is probably one of the slowest industries to adapt to things that you'll ever see. Besides Major League Baseball, which I don't know who's running that shit, but they just won't. It's a new time, guys. You guys got to learn how to do instant replay and make the games go faster. I don't know what's going on, but let me stop digressing. Hollywood doesn't learn from one instance. It's an anomaly, especially with black films. No matter how many times Tyler Perry can almost hit $100 million, it doesn't matter. They just think, oh, that's Tyler Perry. So for us, anytime it's a good check in the box, it's always going to be, well, only he can do it. I don't see anybody else doing it. At the same time, though, when these films don't quite work out, that guy's done, which is amazing for Kevin Hart because any nigga that saw Soul Plane just thought his career was over. And the way this guy has hustled since then is amazing. So kudos to him because he's a beast. But in this article, of course, it talks about that how disruptive Get Out was, that it kind of changed the horror landscape and that it came at a time when audiences definitely needed that. It really meant to say liberal audiences, when audiences definitely needed it in a Trump America of this horrific nightmare of a black guy going to meet his girlfriend's white family that was literally trying to sell him into a certain type of slavery. Even though this movie I think was great, it was smartly done, Jordan Peele did his thing, and it's going to be amazing for him. He already has deals lined up everywhere. Him and his white queen, Chelsea Peretti, are probably killing the game right now. They probably over at Marshall's buying everything because white people love Marshalls. I don't get why, but Marshalls is a thing. So it'll be great for him. I'm definitely excited to see his projects, what's coming out from him. I'll be there night one to see whatever he comes out with. For the overall black culture and black experience, it's not going to change much. Hollywood needs to see everything in threes. Like in Hollywood, there's a rule of three, definitely in film. So when something happens once, you got to say it again and then a third time just so the audience can kind of understand what's going on and understand that it's a progression of things that are happening. And it's the same with Hollywood films. If Get Out's going to be a hit, we need to see another Get Out-like hit within a year. And then a year following that, you need to see another Get Out type hit. That'll change the market completely because at that point, we've seen 3 successive years of this type of movie being a big deal and doing well. Because right now, you can't tell me there's a difference between Get Out and let's say a movie like Don't Breathe. Even though a lot of you guys might not have seen Don't Breathe is a horror movie that was low budget, that did very well in theaters, and people just kind of tipped their hat to it and kept it moving. Get Out, on the other hand, same thing. Did very well in theaters. It was a cultural thing for a while because for the culture, everybody's in the sunken place now if you don't fuck with them. Suddenly everybody is just in the sunken place, which is a great thing. And I'm sure Webster will definitely add that to the dictionary sooner or later. But we got to realize that just this movie itself isn't going to change the Hollywood landscape. And to keep asking this question anytime Tyler Perry drops a new movie and it does well, or Kevin Hart does well at the movie theater, they're always going to, or Denzel, whenever he does his thing, they're always going to see these movies as an anomaly. They're always going to brush these off until they tell us overwhelming evidence that these movies, that black movies are going to be great, that black movies are going to sell. Especially, they don't even give us a chance to have international releases for black films. I think Maybe the second ride along might have got a few markets, but we don't even get these international releases, and they don't think black people can show well or do well internationally, except black culture is probably everywhere around the world one of the most known commodities of the U.S., and yet for some reason our films and our likenesses can't be shown all over the globe. It's a weird thing. I just don't get why we keep asking these same questions anytime a film comes out. I get that it's clickbait, and I'm not blaming Mark Harris for this. He's just trying to do his job. He's writing a piece that he probably believes that is somehow for the culture and for us and wonderful, but it's not. It's the same question over and over again. And the real question should be, what is the next movie we're supporting? How can we get this in succession so all of these films are supported by us? And every time there's a black film out that looks like something we love, it's going to be supported by not only black people, but also white people. Because when I went to see Get Out, it was more white people in the theater than any black face that I saw. So we got to understand that questions like these just need to stop being clickbait online. And the next time somebody asks this or that dumb fucking did Team A or Team B win, I'm just going to have one question for you.
Are you dumb?
This week we're reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, written and directed by James Gunn, cinematography by Henry Braham, edited by Fred Raskin and also Craig Wood, music by Tyler Bates, production design by Scott Chambliss, and also set design by Lori Gaffin and Jay Hart, with costume design by Juliana Moskavisky, which I definitely just messed up, but it's fine. Anyway, this is also your spoiler alert, so don't talk to me about spoilers later. And now let's get to the review. Hey guys, welcome back, and now it's time for the review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I was hyped to see this film, but I want to say it has to be my first mistake by going to an AMC theater. You guys don't quite know me yet. This is the first episode. For my friends and family, they know I have a certain disdain for AMC theaters. And it's really not about AMC. It is about AMC. So AMC, first of all, let me take my hats off to you guys, because your theaters do look great now. You have the recliner seats, which I appreciate in most of your theaters. For the most part, they're pretty clean. It is one or two theaters in New York that I've been to now that were AMC theaters that were fucking disgusting. I'm not going to blame you for that. Maybe that's not your fault. Maybe some things just fall through the cracks, whatever the case. My problem with AMC theaters are two things. One, I usually try to be on a diet. One of my friends that I work with calls it a fake diet, because one day I'm only eating kale all day, and then the next day I just feel like a personal pan pizza needs to be in my life. But anytime I go to see a movie, I always want to have a little bit of popcorn. Most movie theaters that I'm used to will say, hey, they'll have the butter in the back because they kind of want to control things. And they'll have their own employees put the butter on the popcorn. If you wanted a hot dog, they'll have their own employee put the ketchup on it. Not an AMC theater. AMC feels like they only want to have maybe one or two employees behind the counter at a time. Obviously just to cut costs, because anytime you go to an AMC theater, you got to do your own layered butter. Why? I'm paying you $8 for some stale ass popcorn. You can't just put the butter on it for me? It's $6 plus for a hot dog. You can't put the ketchup and mustard on it. The Slurpee machine, 2 of them was out. Can I just, AMC, work with me? I'm happy to give you my money to eat your little concessions, but work with me. Y'all not even humble enough to hand me the gummy bears if I want gummy bears. I gotta go search, pick them up, give them to you. Like, you can't just pull them out like it's a surprise and I'm getting gummy bears. Like, AMC, please. Like, help me help you. I'm giving you money already. Then the second problem with them is that you go in, you get into your recliner seat, which is wonderful. Your movie starts. In this example, let's say my movie started at 11:15. Okay. You expect some trailers cool. So you're thinking, I'll see the first frame of the movie 11:25. Nah. 11:35. Nah. 11:42. Finally, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 starts. Why, AMC? I don't need to see every fucking movie that's coming out for the next 12 years of my life. I don't care. If I'm going to see that movie, I'm going to see that movie. Seeing all these goddamn trailers only makes me more agitated, because by the time the movie even starts, my hot dog is done, My popcorn is gone. Some chick has walked by me 8 times because she has a small bladder. It's always a lot of shit happening because y'all don't want to start the movie when the movie's supposed to start. 3 trailers is enough. I don't need 27. Anyway, so Guardians of the Galaxy, I was excited to see it because I love all of the Marvel films and the Marvel properties. They're great. The same thing with DC, really. I don't love all of them because Batman versus Superman. For the most part, I love comic book movies. And also the fact that my childhood crush, Zoe Saldana, is in this movie. I know some of you might push back a little bit because my childhood crush is Zoe. But fuck y'all, to be honest. Who cares? Even though she does owe me a quality $355 for seeing some of her terrible films, because about 70% of her movies aren't that great. Lately, she's been kind of hitting a stride that the movies are good, but it was a moment there where Zoe was just, you owe me some money, boo. And I want it, and I need that money back because it was really hurtful to see these movies in theater. The movie starts, Guardians of the Galaxy starts out, you get to see Ego, who's played by Kirk Douglas, and they did this shit, which they're starting to do now with this CGI stuff. They did it with Kirk Douglas. That was Kirk Douglas, wasn't it? Am I making stuff up? No, that's Kurt Russell. It's Michael Douglas that's also in the other one, in Ant-Man, but they did it with him too, where they had the CGI. They CGI'd their faces to make them look younger. I think they did it with Patrick Stewart in the X-Men movies. For some reason, all the men they're making look younger. I don't know if it's a vanity thing or what, but somehow they did it in the new Wolverine movie as well. In Logan, they made him look younger. I'm starting to think of something in the contract for the male actors that suddenly they're saying, hey, is there any way to make me look younger at certain points? Because it's only happening to men. I'm starting to see a connection here. It's a little fucked up. The movie starts out with Ego, played by Kurt Russell, who's on Earth showing his girlfriend Meredith Quill, who is Peter Quill's, Star-Lord's, the main guy, mom. And you see them back in 1980, and he goes and shows her this seedling that he planted. And he says he has them planted all over the universe. Already, you got to kind of know that he's a bad guy. I just want any woman out there that has a bullshit baby's father, or maybe you don't call him a baby's father, maybe you call him the father of your child. Or when you look at your child, you be like, your dad's here. However you want to go about it. If he came and his ass said that he was dropping his seedlings all over the universe, all over the world in our case, you would know he's an ain't shit nigga. Because he's popping up with all these kids, all this bullshit that's happening. This is ain't shit nigga status. And just because Kurt Russell was white in this movie, we didn't quite connect that. But any guy that's like, hey, I'm just dropping these seeds off all over the universe, you an ain't shit nigga, dog. So we knew you was a villain outright, but the movie didn't play it that way yet. Nonetheless, he's a goddamn villain. And the movie flash forwards to 2014, so it flash forwards 34 years, and you get to see the Guardians of the Galaxy working together as a team. They're helping these people, this race of people called the Sovereign, whose planet is also called the Sovereign, which is kind of interesting. But they're helping them take out an interdimensional being, this monster that's coming to steal energy that powers their whole planet, these little batteries that power their whole planet. The Guardians succeed in their task. It's a very great intro scene with Baby Groot, who of course is the star of the whole movie because he's just amazing. I definitely have to get a Baby Groot action figure or poster or something because that shit is just dope. It's a great opening scene with Baby Groot kind of playing around and listening to music while the rest of the Guardians take out this interdimensional monster. The Guardians, they get their task done, but they run afoul of the Sovereign because one of the people in their crew, Rocket Raccoon, decides to steal the batteries. And of course, that leads to the Sovereign coming after them. Because of this fight between them and the Sovereign, their ship crash lands on a planet where, of course, they meet Ego, who is Kurt Russell, and Star-Lord's dad. From there, the movie kind of becomes this very melodramatic film with comedy sprinkled in. Not sprinkled in, because it's a very funny film, action-heavy, comedy sprinkled in. Well, I keep saying sprinkled in, so I must mean it. So I'm going to say comedy sprinkled in. A lot of the scenes, though, I almost wanted to say it's kind of a mandated scenes that they wanted to add on to these characters and add more layers to them. So it's a lot of expositional scenes where the characters are just kind of given backstory. And a lot of backstory, because the original Guardians of the Galaxy had it in pieces. Like here and there you would hear about Star-Lord's mom, or what was going on with Rocket, how he was worked on and he was genetically engineered, and Gamora and her sister Nebula. But this one kind of gave you a more rounded view of the team overall. At the same time, it seemed a little heavy-handed at moments, because it seemed that it was going beat to beat from scene to scene, where you would have an action beat, and then here's the comedy beat, and then here's the exposition beat, just to follow the same path over and over and over again. A lot of movies do this, but for this one, for some reason, it stuck out in that a lot of the connections and the transitions from beat to beat didn't quite fit seamlessly. Even though every individual scene was fun, at moments they felt like just that they were individual scenes and not necessarily a cohesive movie that was telling the story of the Guardians of the Galaxy in this adventure. It just felt more that we were telling individual stories. They even broke up the Guardians throughout the movie, so they were all in like different areas, where you might have a moment where Drax, played by David Bautista, was with Mantis, which is a new character that they added in. So they had intimate moments with them where they were just kind of figuring out each other and figuring out their connection. The same thing with Gamora and Star-Lord. They were kind of off on their own. At the same time, Star-Lord Peter Quill was also learning more about his dad and why his dad left and his relationship with the mom. And Rocket Raccoon was off with Yondu. So little things like this broke up the team, but it also at moments broke up the momentum of the movie, and at the same time had the movie feel like segments instead of one cohesive film until the end, when everybody got back together. You got all that energy back. The fight between the Guardians and the Sovereign was great. The fight between Ego, who of course is a bad guy. They tried to make it seem like it was some big reveal when Ego ended up being a piece of shit. But come on, guys. He was dropping his seeds all over the universe. That's not a good human being that just wants to... Anyway, but through all that, definitely one of the better third acts I've seen in the Marvel Universe. Even though I talked about how it seemed disconjointed throughout, it led to a good third act. So it must have been things in there that definitely worked that I just wasn't quite seeing on the first view. I'll definitely watch this probably 8 more times, so I'll catch the things that James Gunn was going for throughout. But right now, it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is definitely worth checking out. The soundtrack is amazing. I like the film. I didn't love it like I did the first Guardians, but I definitely liked the film. Baby Groot was the shit. I can't tell you this enough. Like, Baby Groot, it was a little kid in the theater. You wouldn't hear shit from the child, which is amazing, actually, because usually when kids come to theaters, they're always talking. They're asking their parents questions. They got to go to the bathroom. It's always some shit with a kid in the theater. This little kid actually didn't make a noise unless Baby Groot was on screen. And then the kid just said, "I am Groot" with Baby Groot every time. Cutest shit I've ever seen. Overall, the movie was straight. Go check it out. It's worth the $16 that you have to pay in New York. Or if it's cheaper than that where you are, it's definitely worth it. It's definitely gonna crush. It might not crush a box office record, but it'll definitely make over $100 million this weekend. And it deserves. So I think that's going to be, let's wrap this up. I think that's going to be all for us this week. Follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube at Tom Fondo. You can follow me on Instagram at Maxwell Towson. That's TOWSON. We're on YouTube. We're on iTunes, Google Play, I think also. Are we Google Play? Google Play. Follow us on all that type stuff. Good hanging out with you guys this week. We'll see you guys next week. And always, RIP Alex.
Tom Fondle.